All right, guys. All right. It is time for this review from MDCI. Yes, we are finally doing the review for MDCI Vétyver Messenger, and I am beyond hyped. I am ecstatic to review this fragrance for you guys. This is the newest release from MDCI, and if you know about this traditional luxury niche French perfume house, they don't release fragrances every year, not even every 2 years. So when they release something, you know it's gonna be something special. So you guys, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna have some fun. But before we jump into the video, I wanna say this Bible verse for you guys. I want you to take this and we're gonna talk about it at the end of the video. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. So we're gonna talk about that verse at the end of the video, but we're here to discuss Vétyver Messenger. Y'all ready for another epic fragrance review? Sit back, relax, get some popcorn. It's about to go down. So, once again, I am just hyped. I can't believe that I'm blessed enough to be able to review this fragrance. Now, I'm not sure if I'm the first to review this, but I know I'm one of the first. This fragrance isn't even on Fragrantica yet. That's how you know it's fresh off the press. So, Vétyver Messenger was created by Natalie Feistinger. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize. But she is a renowned perfumer that's been working in the industry since, I think, 1995. So she has a catalog of fragrances. I actually stumbled upon her truly by coincidence. The new house that I've been raving about, Bulan, she has created fragrances for that house, but she's also created fragrances for MDCI and also Amouage, just to name a few. You guys can go look up her encyclopedia of fantastic fragrances that she's created. But she was governed to create this fragrance for MDCI. And when I tell you the story behind this fragrance is uplifting. Right? This is a fragrance that's supposed to create happiness. This is a fragrance that is supposed to emulate a sense of serenity and joy and a light-hearted, fun feeling. And I think Natalia has nailed this. It is literally, in my opinion, no, I'm gonna state this right now. For me, this is in the runnings for being the best fragrance release. All right, let's get into this real quick though. So here is a presentation for the regular standard bottle, right? So this is how the standard bottle looks without the bus, right? If you get the full presentation with the bus, it comes in a beautiful luxury packaging. Not saying this isn't beautiful, but it's very simplistic with just the name on the front. But trust me, the packaging with the full bust bottle presentation is pure luxury. Speaking of presentation, let me show you a little bit more about the beautiful bottle design. So if you take a look at the bottle, you see that it is a beautiful clear crystal bottle with almost a podium or pillar type of kind of feel or design with gold accents around the bottle. And I think this is simplistic, timeless, and gorgeous. Of course, on the top, there's a metal top cap where you would usually put the bust. But I really want you guys to take a moment to look at the subtle details of how the bottle kind of cascades out at the bottom and also the top, and those little beautiful accents of gold trim around the entire bottle. Not to mention the beautiful tassel that hangs off the rim. But let me tell you, that's not even the coolest part. So you know the tube that usually is inside of the bottle to let the juice come out. I'm gonna put this as close as I possibly can. Tell me if you can see where that's at. Can you tell where the tube is. You can't. This is literally invisible. You have to literally stare at this for probably a good minute before you can actually see this with the naked eye. I've seen that in a few, maybe 3 or 4 other bottles, but not to this degree. That is pure luxury because it's a slightly distracting thing that takes away from the bottle. That's just, in my opinion, when it comes to this level of niche. But this is, like I said, this is the classic look without the bust. Let me show you what it looks like with the bust on it for those who haven't seen it. So here we go. This is the full presentation with the bust. Now, Mr. Claude has handcrafted these busts, and I think they are just stunning. Now, you can get them in either white or black, and the female's the same. You can either get those in white or black. Wow, man, that is simply gorgeous. Tell me if I'm wrong. But what about the juice? I know you like Rome. Okay, gorgeous. It is a beautiful presentation. Yes, it is. But can you tell us about the juice? Okay, so you know Vétyver has been used in multiple ways in perfumery. It is such a versatile note that it can be placed at the top, middle, or base of a fragrance. It can be used as something that can be either fresh, it can be used as something earthy, or it can even be used as something a little smoky. But in this fragrance, Vétyver is used so uniquely because in the opening, you're going to get very heavy citrus notes, very citrusy, bright, and fresh notes in the opening, like grapefruit, a beautiful citrusy, ripe grapefruit, combined with a even fresher bergamot. Now, the bergamot has a more greener kind of vibe. The grapefruit has a more fresher, and which is, it's ironic, it's slightly sweet. There's also a beautiful pink berry in this that adds a little bit more of that freshness, but lends to that sweetness. Those are the 3 first notes that you get in the opening, but it is accompanied by a beautiful whisper of sweetness that lingers in the air that makes me think of like a soft powdery sugar. So this sweetness is almost like if you ever took grapefruit and you put either Splenda or a little bit of sugar on the grapefruit. That is the vibe, that is the picture that is painted when I smell this, combined with the red berries and also the bergamot. Not long after that, you're gonna get a beautiful aroma. This aroma is lavender. Now this is the lavender to me that brings out the kind of fougere vibe. It's very soft, it's not the barbershop. No, this is still fresh, citrusy, and sweet, but the lavender lends that fougere kind of hint in this opening. Now you're playing around with the sweetness, you're playing around with the citrus notes, and also that fresh lavender that gives hints of, I wouldn't say aftershave, maybe a hint of shaving cream. When I tell you guys, I spray this on my hand thinking, okay, Vétyver, what are we doing? Is it gonna be smoky? Is it gonna be fresh cut grass? Something in that realm? I was not expecting this to be this fresh, y'all. I lost it. I was blown away. I was so excited. The joy that came out of me, because do you know how hard it is for a person like me that loves dark fragrances, that loves smoky, love spicy fragrances, to find a fresh fragrance that did that to me? Man, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I am so excited for this joint. I'm telling you, this fragrance, in my opinion, definitely took this concept of Vétyver and said, wait, watch what I do. I applaud Natalie for taking a risk and doing something different. But we're still staying in an opener because it doesn't just stay there, right? We have a soft blend of cardamom that gives a soft spice, lends a soft spice to the lavender. And the lavender kind of starts to take the wheel, the driver's wheel at this point. Let's say we're about maybe a half hour into the fragrance. You're still definitely getting the citrus note. The sweetness is carried through the entire journey of this fragrance. It's probably one of the things that kept me excited and kept me coming back and wanting to smell myself. Soft spices, freshly cut lavender, and those citrus notes, right? The soft spices now come down to the mid of the fragrance. The lavender kind of takes a halt. It doesn't travel down to the mid, but the spices absolutely do. So now we get to the mid of the fragrance and you're going to be introduced to some kind of, I would say, heady green florals, right? And this is coriander and you also have geranium. And these two kind of hint to that little bit of that grassiness that usually Vétyver kind of brings, but it's very faint. These aren't going to play a big part to me in the mid. What plays a big part to me in the mid is this apple note. Now, when I first smelled this fragrance, I didn't understand where the sweetness was coming from, right? But I still contribute that to, or part of that to this apple note. I don't know if it's a red apple. I don't know if it's a Granny Smith apple, a candy apple, but for me, bringing back some of that nostalgia that I had when I was a kid, this is where I would go to the store on the corner in my neighborhood and they would have these candy apples sitting on the top and have this hard candy coated filling over the apple that you just couldn't wait to sink your teeth in because that crunch of that candy, and then you're getting that nice crisp apple with the sweet and juicy vibe. That is exactly what I get when I smell this fragrance. Now, like I said before, the citrus notes, the sweetness, they stay, but just imagine hints of that clean lavender, hints of that nice soft spice of cardamom, and then you're getting a beautiful whiff of that candy apple vibe. You're talking about ready for the heat. I am so ready for the heat. Now, I've only worn this in the weather has been 55, 60 degrees. Can you understand how excited I am about what this is gonna do when it hits that 80, 85, 90 degree weather? It is over as a wrap. Bro, I'm telling you guys, ladies and gentlemen, when the heat hits this bottle might be 50% before August hit. That's how much I'm gonna spray this on. Now, there's two things I wanna say about this fragrance that is very important. This is not a beast mode fragrance. This is a fragrance that is, if you had scale of 1 to 10, this is sitting in the 5 to 7 range when it comes to projection, right? It wasn't meant for that, I don't think. Also, I am 100% sure this fragrance is unisex. It is straight down the middle. Man or woman can wear this. There is no side, no gender that's going to lean towards more. And I'm going to stress this again. What I smell is what I'm trying to convey. That's what I'm going to talk about. Of course, at some point, I will put the note pyramid up so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but this is what I smell. So Natalie mentioned something that I want to double down on, right? And this is when we start to leave the mid and we're like, all right, we're at the end of the road. We're at the base of the fragrance. And she was talking about this fragrance having this gourmand kind of feel. It's gourmand kind of wrapped in a cashmere sweater. And I totally agree with that. From the end of the mid to the base of the fragrance, I 100% agree with that because I kept thinking of that candy apple, which sits in the gourmand territory. I kept thinking of the Splendor or sugared grapefruit, absolutely still lends that sweet kind of mouth-watering vibe. But that transition from that citrus sweetness to the soft spicy to now we getting into the warmness of the fragrance, and we're introducing now the Vétyver. We're introducing now this oak moss, and we're also introducing ambroxan. So this is very strange at this point, right? Because we're saying, hold up, what is the Vétyver doing? This is called Vétyver Messenger, right? Where's the Vétyver at? The Vétyver is at the base of the fragrance? Yes, to me, I don't get Vétyver too much anywhere in the opening. Barely in the mid, and I say barely because in the mid you start to get a whisper of smoke, but definitely you're going to get this green, fresh / earthiness when it comes to the Vétyver. It's fresher than it is smoky. It's fresher than it is that earthiness. No, this is the fresh side of Vétyver, but adding the freshness with the oak moss and adding the Vétyver with that ambroxan. This is now giving this a little bit of heftiness, a little bit of structure, and that warmness that we were talking about. Now, when we talk about gourmand, this is where, for me, the gourmand really takes over. Because, so when we talk about the gourmand aspect of this fragrance, this is when that joyous, fun, happy feeling that they were trying to convey comes out even more. A warm tonka bean, a beautiful, equally as warm vanilla. And then there's a super unique note that I smell, which is like carrot, or if you ever try to juice a carrot and you get that sweet carrot smell of like the juice, imagine that, the sweet carrot juice, still that greenness from the Vétyver, that freshness from the Vétyver, but warm tonka bean and warm vanilla. And I'm talking about the vanilla. Have you ever had a one of those, a Boston cream donut, when you have the beautiful bread-like smell, the warm bread-like smell, but when you bite into it, you get that beautiful, that wonderful sweet taste of vanilla, of that cream? That's what it is. Now, the layer of chocolate over that is the tonka bean kind of smell that I'm getting. So it's gourmandish, it's sweet, it's warm. Like she said, is that gourmand wrapped in cashmere sweater. That is absolutely what this smells like in the dry down. Now, there are other notes, other facets of this fragrance that do play a pivotal part in the dry down, which is the musk. That leans a little bit more of that comfort, that kind of serenity kind of feel. When you just say, I don't have any cares, I'm just enjoying the moment, I'm enjoying the fragrance. I said the projection isn't, 20 feet in every direction. But the longevity for this type of fragrance, easily you're gonna get a solid 7 hours. 8 hours if it's sprayed on clothes. Now, I always suggest to spray, then put some lotion on your body, unscented lotion, and then spray again. Because now you're trapping the fragrance under your moistured skin, and then you have some on top. So after it dies down, under the skin, the fragrance has to break through all of the lotion, and then you get that whole experience all over again. If you have some type of clothing that's cotton, absolutely spray this on it. This is going to smell amazing on you, your significant other. This is the perfect fragrance for the spring and summer. Anything 75 and above, this is going to project. Now, I can't tell you, this is just my prediction. I can't tell you what this is going to do in the summer, but I predict that when this fragrance hits the heat, we're going to have a whole new beast on our hands. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is wonderful. I cannot wait till you guys get your nose on this. It is fun. It's playful. I haven't had this type of excitement for not only a citrus fragrance, but a vetiver citrus fragrance like this. And for those who are looking at this video and saying, man, I thought this was gonna be heavy vetiver. This is gonna be one of those. No, I don't want you to think that. I will tell you this. Go to your local boutique that sells the fragrance and get samples and try it out. I am 99.9% sure you will love this. And those who hate vetiver and say, I don't like vetiver, it's too grassy, it's too green, it's too citrusy, it's too earthy, or it's too smoky. This is a different type of fragrance. This is a new type of vetiver fragrance. And I know that majority of you guys are gonna love this. Whew. I think that's it. Once again, I wanna give Natalie, I'm gonna give her praises. You did a fantastic job. Claude, once again, kudos on everything you guys do. For those who don't know, I'm gonna give Claude, Mr. Claude, and his family their flowers by telling you they do not make fragrances to please the masses. They don't follow trends. They create their own trends. I'm gonna link this video that I saw a couple of weeks ago that a young man interviewed Mr. Claude and his family about these his fragrance and what he does, and how many perfumers that we find and say are some of the best, he's the one that gave them their shot to even create these masterpieces that we call, or what we would say would be in Perfume Hall of Fame. Mason Francis Kirkjohn, Cecile Zarokian, Natalie, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Bertrand Duchefort also. I could be wrong on that, but I think so. But that's just to name a few. For a family-owned business to create something like this type of presentation, this type of longevity to have in perfumery, to have it literally, just watch the video. It's only him, his wife, and his daughter that runs this whole thing. And I have so much more respect for them because of how much they stick to traditional French perfumery, how much they just will refuse to say, oh, this is the new trend I'm going to follow. No, I want to stick to what we do best, and I want to create something of emotion. I want to create something that is filled with artistry. I want to create something new, and this is absolutely that. So go check it out. This is probably one of the longest reviews I've ever done, but I'm super excited for this, so I hope you guys get a chance to check it out. I'll link down below where you can get this fragrance. I will also link some of the boutiques that you have it also there, but I say if you want this fragrance with the full presentation, buy it from their website, buy it from MDCI themselves. All right, guys, that's it. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching. We're at the end of this long video. Whew. This was fun though. I can't wait for you guys to experience it. Comment down below of what MDCI fragrances you have in your collection, and if you are excited for Vétyver Messenger. Super excited for you guys to get this in your collection. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with your friends. Make sure you hit the bell icon so when we shoot these videos, you get all the information. This video was sponsored once again by Scentsy, a luxury scented warmer company that features some of the most beautiful sculptures when it comes to warmers, seasonal, holiday, and just even regular beautiful warmers. They also have scented wax that you can use throughout your house that has some of the best smells. I mean, just go to the website and check them out. You can see over 30 different versions of these beautiful scented waxes and over 50 to 60 different variations of the warmers. I'll put the link up here and also in the description. Guys, go check them out. Trying to hook you up. Like I said, I wanted to talk about that verse. I think we touched on this before about not being anxious or worrying. And me and a friend of mine, a coworker of mine, were talking about how working day to day, paycheck to paycheck, always wondering if you're going to have enough money to do something, enough money to support your family, or even have enough money to save. And I said to her, and I prayed this myself, is we shouldn't worry about the unknown. We shouldn't worry about things we cannot control. We have to pray about it, and we have to pray with sincerity, and not just to gain something or to have tangible things. We have to pray to God for the things that we need, and he will provide those things for us. He said he provided shelter for the animals outside and the trees that are outside. Those things are out in the wilderness all day, every day, but they still have food. They still are protected, and he values us more than he values those things. So why worry? Why worry about the money? Why worry about where your next meal is going to come from? If he is your Lord and Savior, if he is protecting you, if you believe that he got you, then pray on it. Give it to God and don't worry. I'll leave that verse somewhere in the video. I hope you guys take that, put it in your heart, keep it there, and always remember it. I love you guys, and I always will. Until next time, like I always say, it's okay if you want to smell like Rome. God bless in Jesus' name. Peace.